Alright, so cool. You want to know whether you should summon for Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, but really it's Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, because he's the starting unit. He's the star this time. It's not Goku leading the show, it's Vegeta leading the show. So you want to know whether you want to summon on this universe rep tag unit, the God Bros, the Glow Bros, Evo Ken, whatever you want to call them. It's super hype. Festival part 1 has begun. We've also got Beast Gohan, but I'm going to do that in a separate video. So if you want to know my thoughts on whether I think you should summon on that banner too, you should definitely check it out. But for here, we're talking about the Evo Ken Glow Bros, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, SSBE Vegeta. Let's get into it. Before we get further into the video, I gotta put out these disclaimers for anybody that's summoning straight away. So just put this out. You are not a content creator. For most of you watching this video, 100% you're not. So you don't have to summon straight away. What I advise you do, watch showcases, get somebody's opinion, get multiple showcases. I will be doing a showcase on this unit. I will be summoning. I'm gonna dive into what I'm gonna be doing later in this video. But watch showcases. You can take the opinion and see how they feel, how they look. You can even try them in the summon section before you actually summon. So do that before you consider summoning. It's the festival, so I'm not gonna say, oh, you should consider what's next. Yes, there's going to be an ultra. Yes, there's probably gonna be 1 or 2 more banners that are Legends Limited, but we're here right now, you know, and you've been saving since the anniversary. If you haven't been saving, then you're just winging it, I guess. You're gonna be cooked regardless. So for most cases, watch showcases. I'm not saying consider the future, because we've been saving, so put that one down real quick. And the last thing I will say is don't blow all your Chrono Crystals straight away. Maybe take it slow, so you can actually gauge whether they're really for you or you're just hyped, you know? You're a bit too ahead of yourself. But that's all I gotta say before we actually get into the kit breakdown and I give my opinion on whether I think it's worth summoning or not. Okay, so I think the best way to go through the kit, because I do want to do a kit breakdown because I know a lot of people are quite overwhelmed. I definitely was in my live reaction. I'm gonna break down everything in the kit in different sections. So I'm gonna go through things bit by bit and point out the most essential things that you'd need to know if you're gonna be using this unit, so that you can overall have a grasp of how they would operate. I'm not gonna skip anything important, so for the most part you'd understand everything, but I also don't want to waste your time. So let's get into it. So the first thing you want to point out is the fact that they're a tag unit and their element green. Them being green and a tag unit, not all of them do, but this unit does. They reverse their element. So they're green, their type advantage against blue, weak against purple. If you reverse that, they're strong against purple, weak against blue. That's good to know. The tags Vegeta Clan, Saiyan, God Key, Super Saiyan Blue, Universe Rep, and Son Family. And they're obviously from Universe Rep, Universe Survival Sagas, their episode. If we go into their Z ability, which is what you're going to want to know, they are a blast type of Z ability unit. So they have blast attack and strike defense. You can see it's going up, but the tags you want to really point out: Universe Rep, Vegeta Clan, Son Family, and then you get extra God Key tag if they are that alongside anything else. But you do get the Vegeta Clan and Son Family at 3 Z ability 3. So if I'm not mistaken, that's 6-star. You get both, but Vegeta Clan comes in at 2. So that's pretty much as soon as you pull the unit, you should pretty much be easily able to get the Z ability. But if you for Vegeta Clan, but if you want the Son Family one and the extra God Key edition, you're gonna need to get them at least 6 stars. Simple things to note with their strike and blast: they have blast armor on both sides. So you see here, it says blast armor while charging forward, -3 own arts cost for 4 timer counts on hit. Here is -3 arts cost from 4 timer counts on hit. That happens to both sides. And if I scroll down to Vegeta's side, and Goku's side, sorry, because you start with Vegeta, you'll see it's a similar thing. So yeah, blast armor, and then the same thing here with the -3 to own arts cost. So yeah, Z ability is obviously going to stay the same, but for the main core of the kit, that's pretty much everything you've got to cover. It's just the main things that you need to know when you're building a team and whatnot. So yeah, let's get into the real bulks of the kit now. So Toshi mentioned that they're a tag unit, but they're not a regular tag unit. What's good about this tag unit is that they're able to really switch very fast. So they're going to switch in quick succession because of things in their kit. But we'll get to that as you see we're going through the whole thing. Reverse own element factors. So I already pointed that out with the fact that they're green, reverse green, and I elaborated on how that works. But other things you're going to want to see: when you tag switch to Goku, you shorten your substitution count by 2. Meaning that you're able to switch them back in faster if you switch them out after tag switching, which is good. And there's this conditional thing on pressing the main ability that applies to how much health you have. So if you have 50% or more, you restore 10% and gain 30 ki. But if you're below, then you get a special move which only activates once, but you get 20%, which is obviously more than 10%, and you get 50 ki, which is obviously more than 30 ki. The requirements for it is obviously a max switch gauge. This is the special move on Vegeta's side. So you see here, deals massive impact damage. But what you really want to point out is the fact that he gets his charge for the gauge by 20%. So you see how I mentioned you're going to be able to switch very fast. filling that is very effective, so you'd be able to just get back out on the other end. So from Vegeta to Goku, it's going to be very, very convenient. You also get Blast Armor, and because they're a tag unit, they don't have an ult. It's going to be something that can nullify endurance, because that's almost a standard nowadays. If we look at Vegeta's green card, it's also conditional, but it gets worse the more you use it. So the first time you see here, you get 100 ki, and you're also able to nullify cover change, and you destroy, you nullify cards that can be destroyed from you. So, you know, when some random time your card will get dropped because the enemy destroyed it, yeah, that's nullified. So that's good for you, you know? But then when you use it the second time, you only get these two. Then if you use it the third time, you only get these two. So you can see the key's gone down to 60, the key goes down to 40. This one here, you randomly draw a card. You do draw cards up here as well, by the way, 3 or fewer. At most 2, and then at most 1. So you can see it's getting gradually worse, which kind of ties into how the unit or the characters are, because Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken is already burning in energy, and at that point of tournament power, they were tired. But regardless of when you use it, you get 10% health damage inflicted, and you give blast damage to the allies, which is dope. Now the unique ability here, you know, all the units obviously come with like their base stats. So 100% damage inflicted, 20% damage inflicted, whatnot, and reduces damage received by 70%, which is dope. And you also get draw speed, which is great. But then further down is when you really see how unique the unit is. So every time the unit, this is Vegeta side, enters the battlefield, he's going to get 20 ki, 70% damage inflicted, plus 40% to own Q recovery, and he's going to increase the enemy's strike cost and blast cost for 5-time accounts by 10. So that's actually quite inconvenient for them. Here's something I really want to point down, based on your own health as well. So if your remaining health is 70% or below, you're going to draw a green card. You're going to go type neutral to the damage you take. You're going to seal the enemy's Rise and Rush for 5-time accounts, and you're going to seal the enemy's main ability for 5-time accounts. Really just taking away any trump card they have, they'd have to play normally, which is actually very, very positive for you. If they can't Rise and Rush, they can't use their main, you're not going to get hit with no ult. You're not going to get no random debuffs. They're not going to get more OP out of nowhere, you know? And the Rise and Rush itself is just a super attack. Like, it's an insane super attack. It can take anybody out. So the fact that they can't do that for 5-time accounts, of course, has a lot of value in itself. Here's a condition that applies if the character's ki is 30 or lower after they use an art card. So they're going to get more ki. That's similar to what SSBE can do, but I think it applies regardless. And then for him, like as in SSBE, the LL, the previous one that we got, activation count resets when tag switch is performed, and shortens allies substitution counts by 3, which is actually very effective. It only activates once, but that could get you out of a bind if you just press a card, you know? So yeah, activation count resets when a tag switch character is performed. So a tag switch is performed. So yeah, that's just the end of the unique ability 1 for Vegeta. On unique ability 2, you can see he's got a long range cover change against strikes. That's every cover change pretty much. Strike attack cover change. Some more things here about charging the own unique gauge. So slightly charges on unique gauge every time this character uses an arts card, so that's normal for tag switch units. Once unique gauge is full, it resets to 0 and applies the following effects to self. So this is just some extra stuff that they're gonna get. Randomly draws at most 3 new cards when you have 3 or fewer cards in your deck already. Restores ki by 40, damage inflicted. Activation count is shared between Vegeta and Goku, which is actually important to note. Plus 20% to damage inflicted for 15-time accounts. Plus 50% to damage unique gauge charge up, so you're gonna see you're able to just fill it up even further. Like the rate it goes up, it doesn't go up immediately by 50%, but it can charge 50% faster, which is a major increase. It says it again, shared between them, and then applies the following effects. He can't be cover changed. So yeah. Some other dope things down here. Applies the following effects to enemy every time they use a strike or blast arts card while this character is on the battlefield. Gonna reduce ki by 5, so you can kind of help get their combo to end, and inflicts attribute downgrade -5% strike and blast arts power for 10-time accounts. So the enemy is going to get weaker the more cards they do against you, specifically for their strike and blast anyways. It also applies the following effects to self when this character switches to standby, restores health by 10% and charges switch gauge by 100%, and that activates twice. Here the following effects occur upon landing a strike or blast arts if there is a defeated battle member. So if you just have one battle member that's not alive, then you restore your own health by 5%. You charge your gauge immediately by 50%, so it's going to go up, and you get 10% special move damage, and you get -5 to own special move arts cost, restores own vanishing gauge by 100%, and reduces enemies Dragon Ball by 1. So just a few things that are going to help you. So the Rise and Rush, they're not going to be able to do it if they had a full one. Getting your vanishing gauge back is insane, and charging your own one by 50% is actually a big help. Let's get into Goku now fully. Now, there's not major detail to go into with Goku. It's not 100% the same, but for the most part, pretty much everything is the same. Like, I'm not gonna say it's completely the same, I already said that, but I want you guys to take in that there's gonna be some differences. So the main ability here, for the most part, is pretty much the same. There's nothing majorly different that you're gonna want to see to point out, but something that Toshi did mention is that Goku is the more defensive character on the two tag units. Vegeta is going to be the attacker, the lead, the one that's going to do all the damage. Goku is meant to be the more tanky side, but he still comes with most of the things that Vegeta has anyways, which is dope. So you see here the health conditional thing on the main ability when you do the tag switch on the main ability. So yeah, the switch ability. If we go into the strike, there's still blast armor, I already showed that. If we go into the blast, still the same thing pretty much. The special move, I guess it's slightly different, but the charge switch gauge by 20% is still very, very vital, you know? So shout out for that. That's actually very dope. Obviously, it's going to nullify endurance the same way. And the attribute downgrade, minus 20% enemy sustained damage cut, so that's dope. Going into the green card, it's pretty much the same thing, like pretty much bar for bar. Not much different if I'm being honest, so I'm not going to go into it crazily. There's a slight difference though. While Vegeta's special arts increases blast damage inflicted, Goku's will cancel attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. So it's more so, like I said, he's meant to be the tanky type of unit. Here, the description, just like Vegeta when entering the battle for 70% health, and this unique ability will nullify unfavorable element factors for damage sustained and seal the enemy's rise and rush and main ability for a set number of time accounts. So pretty much the same thing. There's not major differences here in the unique ability 1. I've pretty much glided through. You get the major buffs here, the thing when you switch in, you know. This here as well, the main thing, sealing the rise and rush in the main abilities. And then here as well, the following effects occur if your own key is that you're low after using arts card. Pretty much the same thing. Last bit here, unique ability 2, we're gonna see that instead of having a strike cover, there's a blast cover, so that's the difference. You see here, Goku has a special cover change to blast arts. However, all other effects are the same as Vegeta's, so we're not gonna read into everything here, but that's pretty much it for Goku. You can see it's very much similar to Vegeta's, which we already went into. Now, on top of that, Golden Frieza is on the banner, but we don't have the full kit for Golden Frieza, so we're not gonna elaborate on Golden Frieza. We're really just gonna stick to Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and SSBE Vegeta. And what I will tell you is they are worth summoning. They are seriously worth summoning for. Universe Rep is already a stacked team, but something I do want to point out is that the team that's getting shadow buff is Son Family. This unit here is Son Family, undeniably, but we already have Gold Frieza, and we're going to be getting a Beast Gohan, and the Beast Gohan, I tell you, is cracked. If you can get both of these two units and run Son Family with the amount of equips they're getting in general, Son Family is going to eat beyond belief. But that's not the only team, of course. For Universe Rep mains, this banner is worth summoning for. Will I say you should pull all your CC into it? I'm not going to say that 100% because, of course, the festival is not over. We're very likely to get a part 2, which would have another Legends Limited or maybe even 2 more Legends Limiteds, because we're getting 5 raids, so we might be getting 5 banners. There's definitely going to be an Ultra at the end or something even new that we haven't seen. So, of course, I can't say pull all your CC into this banner, but I will say that we're going to get a lot of CC as well. So if you do, you don't have to worry that much. But this unit here is really insane. The fact that they can seal your Rise and Rush, they can seal your main ability, the fact that they can tag switch faster than any unit we've seen, they're just going to be doing a madness on the battlefield, on top of the fact they already have such a stacked team. So if you want to summon on this unit and they appeal to you, they're green as well, so they're going to mix very well with the units that are around them. They fill an empty slot. They're going to get Zenkai buffed by the new Topo. There's a lot of things going for this unit, so if you really do want them, there's no reason to not summon on them. They're worth it. They're worth it, straight up. I don't need to go into much more detail than that. That's the answer you probably wanted to hear. It's the festival. It's what you've been saving for since the anniversary. So you feel free to go all out. But me personally, I'll give my opinion right now. If you want to know what I'm doing, I will not be summoning so deep on Evo Ken. I'm personally more interested in Beast Gohan. I feel like Beast Gohan is really where my eyes are set. So I'm going to be putting more into him, but I won't go deep on both of them anyways. I'm also summoning for content purposes because I really want to 14-star the Ultra without spending my whole life on it, you know? Ultra G4, who I'm expecting, I think he's really what I'd want over this, even though the hype right now is beyond belief. But you really have to think ahead, so try calm your temptations if you're thinking the same way I'm thinking. But regardless of if you summon or don't summon, this unit is great, undeniably. It's a valuable unit and they fit on a lot of teams. There's a missing space on Son Family for green, really. There's a missing space on Universe Rep. If you have Rev Sign, then fair. But me personally, I'll get the copy. If I feel they're really good, then I'll Z-power them later. But for sure, I will be getting the unit. 1 copy for sure, and then I'll be fine. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, man. Hopefully it was useful. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. If we could hit that in the festival, it's a big jump, but I'd be amazed. But of course, I'm always going to be here to upload and whatnot. So yeah, again, press the subscribe button. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.